I've just been watching Oprah's podcast with Maria Shriver. Um, I would love to do that kind of stuff on my channel, have a sit down interview with lots of different people. And I would love to have a sit down interview with Nicole Kessinger. I would love that. Just like Oprah and Maria Shriver just had a conversation. A few days before that, I watched her interview with the daughter of a very famous French heroine. That's a case I would love to talk about but cannot discuss on my channel. And one day I might do a video saying things I can't discuss. What's Island madness, craziness? That's something that I can discuss. I put off doing this video because my computer's playing up and there's certain things I couldn't do that I wanted to do for this podcast. And so I delayed it. Watts Island is a crazy, crazy island. And many people are still on it and can't get out. I go back and forth on the island. This was going to be a reaction video to a live stream or video that Mummy Ramblings, MRB, had made, titled What's Island Craziness. And it will be a reaction to that to a certain extent, but it won't be a full reaction. I'm going to talk about other things as well. And by the way, I like to be tongue-in-cheek with my photographs. I just like to have a little bit of fun. I'm somebody that likes to laugh. And so, I'm not always taking myself completely seriously, okay? I just like to have a bit of fun, a bit of tongue-in-cheek stuff. Anyway, yes, I would love to do one-on-one interview with Nicole Kessinger. That would be great. But I just want to say some things about some of the things that MRB said in her video. I've been hearing so much about what's been going on within the community and associated communities, the Watts Island community and associated community. I've heard about the whole Save Robbie situation with Natasha Cooper and Mrs. Portland. Natasha Cooper always resurfaces, doesn't she? She's like one of these people, you think she's gone, but she's always there kind of hovering in the background. So that's a whole other drama. But, Robbie did start with the Watts case. He, a lot of the views that he got and how he built his channel was starting off with the Watts case. So that's why I mentioned that. I just want to touch on some of the things that MRB said in her video titled Watts Island Craziness. I call it madness. Now, I know that MRB is polarizing for some people. Some people love her and some people don't. And that's okay. I'm in the middle. I'm very objective about her. I'm aware that there are people who really liked her. I've always respected her for standing up for Shanann against Miss Mensah. I've always respected her for that. I understand that she's not perfect, that she has flaws, that she can come across a certain way. But I try to be objective about her. So I don't have the disdain for her that I know that a lot of people have, okay? And if you're a creator with a certain, with a certain amount of following, I mean, she does have over 40,000 subscribers. If you're any kind of creator who puts your opinion out there, you're going to have people that don't like you. A lot of the people that watch my channel are my detractors. I get a lot of watch time, a lot of my watch time come from people who do not like me, but they come here because they're curious to see what I have to say. I just recorded the second half of this podcast and I don't know why, but it seems to be lost. I'm so annoyed. I'm just sitting here looking at the screen thinking, where is the second half that I just recorded? I really literally just want to cry because I hate recording something and then it just disappears and for no reason. Anyway, this channel has racked up almost 500,000 lifetime views and over 17,000 hours of watch time. So almost 18,000 hours of watch time. So not bad, but I don't feel any better. I mean, I'm just so annoyed. Anyway, what I was talking about was MRB mentioned a video that Val has on her channel that's put forward or presented in like a documentary style, and it is about AD and the theories that he put out there and how he treated the Rusex. And Val gave the Glera, which is a channel that I don't know if it exists still or not, an honorable mention. And MRB and the Glera used to be in dispute with each other. So MRB was basically not happy and voicing her unhappiness and voicing her annoyance and irritation that Val had included the Glera in the documentary style video as an honorable mention. And me and one of my subs, one of my visitors, long time person that I've been, I consider her a family member of this channel, so to speak. We were having a discussion about it, and the point was raised that I'm not sure if Val knew that the Glera and MRB were in any dispute at any time. So, because MRB was saying that Val should do better research if she wants to, I'm paraphrasing here, if she wants to include people in the video as helping or giving them honorable mentions. And yeah, I don't know if Val knew that the Glera and MRB had any dispute with each other. Somebody asked me, the same sub visitor asked me if I was friendly with Val. I used to be friendly with Val in the beginning when I was a Rusex supporter myself, but we had a disagreement and we're not friendly anymore. But I wish Val well. I wish her the best. And even though I think she devoted far too much time to the Rusex, I do have some respect for her for sticking with them and sticking by them throughout all, because it would not have been easy to do that with some of the stuff that was coming out about Frankie. So, I do have some admiration and respect for Val. We're not friendly, but I harbor no ill will towards the woman. One of the things, and I know that MRB, like I said, is polarizing, but one of the things that I've always admired about MRB, and I'm not saying she's perfect. She's not perfect. She has her ways. But one of the reasons why she doesn't get under my skin as much is because I know her background. There was a time when Miss Mensah and Cindy Watts were very friendly. They aren't anymore. And Cindy Watts appeared on Miss Mensah's channel at least once to do an interview, where basically it was just an interview about how bad Shanann is. And I think I agree with MRB in the sense that, Cindy Watts has never held her son accountable for what he did. She always places the blame on Shanann or somebody in Weld County or DA Rourke. It's always somebody else's fault. And Mummy Ramblings has highlighted that on her channel over the years, so I've always admired and respected that. So yes, I know that MRB has her ways. I know that she's not perfect. I know that she has certain personality traits, but she's never really bothered me. And until she does, I'm not going to have much of a problem with her. Before I forget, and I'm probably going to forget a lot of things here, I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the list of creators that were on Watts Island. Not just the big creators, but the smaller ones. I was on Watts Island. I still am on Watts Island. Well, I dip in and out of Watts Island. AD was on Watts Island, the Aussie, and there was another creator called True Tam. I've done one or two videos on True Tam. Her theories about the case were completely bonkers, but I forgave her for everything because I loved her dancing. I just loved her dancing. She was really into all types of different music. She loved rap. She loved Selena Quintanilla. She used to play a lot of Selena's song, Biddy Biddy Bam Bam. And she loved reggae and dancehall. She loved Shabba Ranks. There's actually a video of her on one channel where she's actually dancing to Shabba Ranks. And it's brilliant, hilarious. There was also another one from the South. And he was just like, he tried to jump on the Aussies bandwagon. But later on, somebody did an expose on him and found that he was just a complete, put it this way, he's not what he presented. But I saw through him from day one. Like, I never wanted to have anything to do with him. He was going on the Nicole Kessinger angle, and I think that's how he befriended a lot of creators, because a lot of creators were still on, and still are, on the Nicole Kessinger angle. I mean, the Watts case is basically now come to, what's left of it, the remnants of it, is that everything is Nicole Kessinger's fault. That's basically it. Zawoki is on Watts Island now, doing very much the same type of theories that AD did. I would say he's a nicer version of AD, a much nicer version and a younger version of AD. And then there was one from Florida that I became associated with. I think we all know who that is. Beginning of his name begins with J. Now, somebody came to my channel the other day and told me that he's no more. Unless I see proof of this, I don't believe it. But I've been told that he's no more. I'm not sure I believe that, and I think I've seen activity on his channel. I think he deleted some of his posts. I have been to his, how do you put it? I've been to a website because Country Joe posted links to a website that showed Amber's record, and I also went and checked his record on the site, and the pictures were quite interesting. You know, the person he presented himself to be, and I'm talking about the guy from Florida, who the last time was asking for gas money, the one with kids, the one who begins with J, whose name begins with J, he's got quite a record, and the pictures that come with that record are quite startling. So, yeah, there's been a lot of creators on Watts Island. Even Natasha Cooper was doing the Watts case for a while. The irony of it, and like I said, Save Robbie did the Watts case for quite a while and got a lot of views. And Save Robbie and MRB used to go back and forth with each other, just as Natasha Cooper and MRB used to go back and forth with each other. So there's been quite a lot of going back and forth. The Aussie and AD as well, and AD and True Crime Rocket, TRC, who's still going. He was on Watts Island for quite a while, but he branched out and did many, many other things. So did AD. I mean, AD didn't only do the Watts case. I mean, he did the Nicola case. He did the Gabby Petito case. So, you know, a lot of people did say that AD only did the Watts case. No, he's done other cases. Yeah. Another thing I want to mention is that MRB spent a lot of time debunking the Aussie's latest theory that the video of Shanann coming home isn't real. I thought that was very much a waste of time. I mean, only a small percentage of people buy into those theories. And if they want to buy into those theories, it's their business. I mean, it's not going to make those theories that he has, and I don't know if he actually believes them. I don't actually believe he believes that. I think that he just likes to put these theories out there for clout, for recognition, to make himself relevant. I don't know. But I actually think it's just a waste of time spending time to debunk him. It's just a complete waste of time. MRB spent a lot of time debunking the theory that he's put out that Shanann, the video of Shanann coming home isn't real. It's just a waste of time because Chris Watts isn't going anywhere. He's not going anywhere. No one is ever going to let him out. So it's just a waste of time. You know, he'll keep putting out these types of things to, you know, for whatever reason. You know, it's just like he patterned himself off of AD. So, you know, that's it. What's the other thing I wanted to mention? So the things I'm hearing about Robbie now, and a lot of people are going hard on Robbie because of the whole Mrs. Portland thing. I don't know how that came about, and I really don't care. But Robbie has always been in a back and forth with someone. I mean, he's one of the #1 crime channels. He's always been in a back and forth with somebody, whether it be Lycan. I think he was even in a back and forth with Mrs. Portland at one time. So Lycan, he was in a back and forth with MRB for a very, very, very long time. Anyway, apparently AD has put out a statement about the civil case. And let's face it, because he had no representation. I've just come back in from having lunch with a dear friend of mine, and the lunch was delicious. So I'm kind of like, I'm not sitting down, I'm kind of standing up. So I just want to get this done quite quickly. Alan AD, as always presents, no matter what, always presents himself as the sympathetic figure. He doesn't feel any empathy because he doesn't have any empathy. The only empathy that Alan and AD will ever have is for himself. And though my brief exchanges with AD, usually by proxy, have always been pleasant, I know what he is. AD cares about AD and nobody else. And I think he's also worried that his reputation is being maligned, so to speak. Because he's put out something, against Cohen Davis, saying that they are, mislead, that, what's been said about him isn't true. And that he lost on a technicality. That is true technically because he didn't have any legal representation. But then if you don't have any legal representation, if you can't afford it, it's probably best just to keep your mouth shut. I mean, if you want to be out there defending yourself, why not get legal representation? So AD really has a fool for a client, just like Lori Vallow will, who's also going to be representing herself. He says here, I'm just reading this, he made a long speech about how he's a sympathetic figure and he didn't have a chance and all this kind of stuff. Since my defense was not heard, he uses another word, but I decided I'm going to use a different word. I'm paraphrasing. It means I was not allowed to argue my side and the court. This is often called a default judgment. Yes. Yep, it's a default judgment. I want to make it clear I have never contacted, messaged Mr. Ruzek. AD is very good at gaslighting. The fact of the matter is that he covered the Watts case for years and he misrepresented the case for his own personal gain, whether it to be clout, whether it was for money, notoriety or whatever. And so even if he doesn't see himself as contacting the Ruzeks in the conventional sense, the fact of the matter is he was talking about their family. So, AD will never change. And, the fact that he sees himself as a sympathetic figure and, life isn't fair and I'm the poor, he will say that he's the poor old man that people are after. That's AD all over. I mean, he will never, ever change. AD doesn't care about anybody but himself. And he will still try and put it forward like he's never done anything wrong. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it here for now, and I might even do a part 2 to this. Who knows?